In addition to the layers of fine arts support throughout our district, the Wichita Public Schools is so fortunate to also have Education Edge at work in our schools. Education Edge supports students in USD 259 fine arts programs by providing beginning band and orchestra instruments, visual arts equipment, and auditorium sound and lighting upgrades, as well as this year's commissioned composition entitled We Learn in Possibility, which will be performed in just a few minutes by the 2022 All-City Middle School and High School choirs, along with members from the All-City Band and Orchestra ensembles. To learn more about Education Edge and the composers of tonight's commissioned work, please note the information inside your program. But for now, please join me in welcoming the composers of our final selection, We Learn in Possibility. Wichita's own Mimi and Dan Overholt are going to join me here as they have at the podium. This awesome mother-son duo will share more about the process of composing this world premiere that, as I said, will be taking place in just a few minutes. And we know there'll be some moving parts as they speak, but I invite you to draw your attention to our wonderful speakers about the piece.
What I actually want to talk to you guys about is the fact that I came through this same program. I helped write this piece that you're about to hear, and although my mom, who was an incredible pleasure to be able to collaborate with on this, did by far the lion's share of the actual composing. I was more here really for moral support, and I wrote some percussion parts, so, you know, the percussion's not on stage yet. I was hoping they would back me up there, but I went through the Wichita Public Schools and graduated from East High. East High, anybody? Hello? Yes, thank you. And was absolutely privileged to have the same kind of incredible experience in the music and arts programs that you guys have had and that your kids have had. And the main thing that I want to say tonight is just thank you to all of the arts educators who are here today and who are not here today. You were an incredible impact on me from my first beginning musical learning in elementary school at College Hill Elementary. I then learned all about how to actually dress up for a concert like you guys have done so well at Robinson Middle School, and then all about how to really make great music from people like Ingra Fowler and Eric Crawford at East High School. I participated in the Wichita Youth Symphonies and this very All-City Choir and All-City Orchestra, and it was an incredible chance to learn about what it means to make music, which is sometimes framed maybe as a means to an end. We've got to keep our arts programs just so that kids will do better on their standardized tests or something like that. I have found in my life that it is quite the opposite, and that the arts and music and creativity are an end unto themselves, that we can be immersed in something wonderful and great and beautiful. And it's an incredible privilege to have been able to do that here in Wichita throughout my life with the Wichita Public Schools. And then it's an amazing privilege to have all of you guys be singing and playing this piece that I was a part of writing. So thank you all. And I do want to also just give a brief further introduction to my mom, who is the real brains of the operation by all means, and wrote this piece, wrote the words. We were inspired by a poem that we found by Emily Dickinson. I dwell in possibility. And we took it upon ourselves to rethink and rework that poem into something that was about more than just about how we together learn and grow and work all in a sense of possibility and hope. Even in these difficult times, we hope we can still have some of that possibility But my mom taught me about composition and music and by just singing to me and being a composer around me, writing songs, writing music in the house all through my life. And it's my privilege to introduce her to you now, Miriam Overholt, our main composer this evening.
Thank you. One of the lines in the lyric tonight says, "Watch in awe as seeds we plant rise up from the earth." And that's what I am doing right now, watching in awe. I see what you parents have planted, providing encouragement and music lessons and rides to rehearsals and support to these kids. All these seeds are rising up. I see you students who have given so much time to learn to play instruments and read music and sing together, and you gave time, including a Saturday and a holiday, to make this music so beautiful tonight. I see you, seeds rising up. I see you teachers, not just dedicated, but devoted to what you're doing, to your students, to music. I see all of these more than 200 students and teachers working together with more intention and engagement in the process that I have ever witnessed in middle and high school students before. I watch in awe as a whole web of people are planting seeds and something of great beauty is rising. There's a bigger story going on around us than the one that we can see with our eyes. The miracle that makes seeds grow begins in dark places. And when I began writing this music, it was a very dark place for me. My beloved husband of 44 years had just passed away unexpectedly a few months before, and I literally did not know if I could still write music. I realized I needed emotional support as well as compositional support, and Dan came alongside me and brought those things to me in a wonderful way. And so we started and became aware of something bigger than us, a bigger story happening around us, a miracle of growth coming from a dark place. I'm not saying the process of writing was easy. It was often very hard. Our first big problem was what Dan said, that we found a poem that we dearly loved and then began writing music for it and found out we could not get the permissions for it. So several months into the process, we had to turn around, go back to the beginning. But then we got this idea from Emily Dickinson about possibility. Possibility means something not yet defined that is promising. And that was not only the lyric, but also the bigger picture of what was happening with us, with the composition. So we kept working with the words, hoping we could get them better, looking at each phrase, trying to let them become all that they could be. And then we began to shape the music around it. And that went well until we hit the next big problem, which was that we needed a second melody, and I wanted it to intertwine with the first, and I just couldn't find it. I've written a lot of melodies. I just could not find the one I wanted. And I struggled for quite a while. I shared that with a small group I was in, and a couple of days later, I got this strange text from a person in the group. His name is Gwen Walker. And he sent me this text and said, I just thought of this song and I thought it might be of interest to you. And then connected to the text was a sound file. And on the sound file, he had whistled a melody. Yeah. And the whistled melody, I thought, well, that's a nice melody, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then I still couldn't find the melody I needed. And so, a few days later, I listened to it again, and I transcribed it, and I changed the key of it, and I changed the time signature of it. And then I tried it with the first melody, and it just came together like that. And you're going to hear it. The flutes will play it first. It's right at the beginning of the piece. And then you'll hear it again at the end when that first melody and that second melody are sung together. So, what does this say? There's a bigger picture going on than the one that we can see. We can access it by paying attention to seeds that are planted and looking for new growth springing up. Listening in the silence to those yearning for that long arc bent toward justice. As Dr. Martin Luther King said, that even in this harsh reality, even in this stark place, we can hold fast to dreams, like Langston Hughes said. There is a bigger reality happening around us than the one that we can see. Watch in awe. Watch in awe. The seeds you plant rise up from the earth. Special thanks to Education Edge for making this happen. Thank you, folks. It's really important. And keep figuring out how to be creative together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mimi and Dan, for your remarks, and once again for sharing your creative talents with the Wichita Public Schools. Now, everyone, please enjoy the world premiere of We Learn in Possibility, commissioned by Education Edge and WPS Fine Arts, under the musical direction of Dr. Rayvon Moore. Thank you, Dr. Moore, the All-City High School, the All-City Middle School, students from the All-City Band and Orchestra. We learn in possibility. How about one more final round of applause for all of our student performers this evening? Thank you, everyone, for coming in this evening and for your support of the Wichita Public Schools music programs. Again, a special thank you to Friends University for sponsoring tonight's All-City Choir concert. Please stop by their booth to see Dr. Moore. Thanks again, everyone. Good night and have a pleasant evening. Thanks for coming.